said, to write one page you have to see so many kitab. So the day he would write the part of Nashrut Teeb, that day the plague would not spread. And if it stops for 1 or 2 days, then the plague will spread everywhere. Nashrut Teeb is about the Holy Prophet. So somebody came to the Thanwi and told him one of his murideen. So for that, then when he told him that Thanwi every day was to have Nashrut Teeb, because that slowly, then the plague died. So there is barakat in the writing of Deeni kitab, especially those who are writing, have spent their whole life in the path of Allah. Once Shaykh al-Hind visited Hazrat Raipuri, Bari Hazrat Raipuri, Hazrat Moulana Raipuri. 3 big Khulafa was Hazrat Thanwi, Hazrat Shaykh al-Hind, Shaykh al-Hadith of Darul Deoband, Hazrat Moulana Khalil Ahmad Sahib, Shaykh al-Hadith of Saharanpur, and Hazrat Moulana Raipuri was in Raipur. Hazrat Moulana Raipuri work was mostly created in Makati and Madaris. So once Hazrat Shaykh al-Hind visited Hazrat Raipuri, so Hazrat Raipuri, he told him that I opened so many Makatib, so there is not one kitab which I could use for small children. We have big kitab. So from what I understand is, if we have sawal and jawab, question and answer, then it will be very beneficial. So Shaykh al-Hind said, I know a person who would write it. So could you bring him? So he said yes. So Shaykh al-Hind went to Deoband and called Mufti Kifayatullah, a student from Madrasa Aminiya, who was Shaykh al-Hadith in Mufti Kifayatullah, was Shaykh al-Hadith in Madrasa Aminiya. One time, when I go to India, I visit all these places. So when I arrived there in Delhi, I said, let's go Madrasa Aminiya. वो तो खत्म हो गया, अल्लाह के बंदे कैसे खत्म हो गया? It has the trustees as it evolved, and then some trustees came and they changed it to school. Up to school of them. Abu Hakeem. You understand? Mufti Kifayatullah is my dada ustad. That on Islam Aqsa, I read Bukhari Sharif. He read from Mufti Kifayatullah and Mufti Kifayatullah from Shaykh. No problem. But when Baad wale Akhlaq, Asnaf ke kaam ko khatam kar dete. Those who come later, they just change whatever the Islam has created. So Mufti Kifayatullah went to the Raipuri with the Shaykh al-Hind. So the Raipuri told him that this is how I want you to write kitab. Mufti Kifayatullah went to Delhi and wrote the whole kitab. When he returned back, the Raipuri, Shaykh al-Hind, the Raipuri Nawalullah Maqadahu, saw it, and then he said it's too big. So we need to divide it into 4 parts. And he divided it into 4 parts. And he gave the name of it Ta'aleem Islam. And we read those kitabs. When different type of syllabus came to England from Akhtar, my father was the Imam of Islam and he was in charge of the syllabus. So he said, जो भी आएगा हम तो लाके इसलिए कि जो रूहानियत और नूरानियत मुफ्ती किफ़ायतुल्लाह की तालीम और इस्लाम में है वो दूसरे में नहीं. जो रूहानियत और जो नूरानियत which is in मुफ्ती किफ़ायतुल्लाह's kitab, you won't find it anywhere else because those are big mashayikh. A person could write a very nice kitab with designs and different colors and very pleasant to the eye. But he himself doesn't pray namaz. Do you think there will be barakah in the person who reads that kitab? So, Hazrat Ali Khan from Pakistan told some of his audience that हमारे मशाइख की किताबों में इतनी बरकत है कि कोई काफिर पढ़े तभी मुसलमान. There is so much barakah in the kitab of our mashayikh that any kafir who reads it will become Muslim. So then he said, don't take it as just I am saying it, because I have the experience of it. He said, a Hindu person came to my majlis and said, could you give a kitab to me, not basic one, by which I could understand how you pray, you do your prayers and everything. So I gave him, Mufti Zaruri Khan said, I gave him Ta'lim al-Islam. He went home, read it for 1 week, came back and became Muslim. That is the barakah of reading Mashayikh kitab. Imam al-Nawawi, who did not marry to write Riyadh al-Salihin, will there be more barakah in his kitab or an Orientalist who write a book and you find a lot of argument in it, but he himself does not believe in anything he's writing. So what do you think? Dil par asar padta hai jo hai unhe kitab se. So this is why my father used to take this point a lot. तूने पी किताबों से, मैंने पी निगाहों से. बुजुर्गों के पास रहने से कुछ भी न सीखे. वो चाय पीते हैं. चाय हमारे वालिद साहब आते थे ईशा के बाद तो खुद अपनी चाय बनाते थे. और मौलाना मेरी वालिदा यूँ कहती थी कि बिरयानी बनाना ज़्यादा आसान है तुम्हारी चाय बनाने से. Biryani is more easy to make than your tea because he will mix that and everything. Then taste once and just because the whole day he would do zikr of Allah, ibadah of Allah, so just to pass his time, then when it would be to his taste, then he would drink himself and give it to us. And while making his tea, he would say 1 or 2 words, very short words, but that would affect us so much. You understand? Very short words. You understand? Yeah, बुजुर्गों के पास रहने की बरकत. I went to Allahabad. Hazrat Moulana Sahib, rahmatullah alayhi, who is the Khalifa and the disciple of Hazrat Shah Wasilullah. And Shah Wasilullah Sahib is the Khalifa of the Thanwi. So when I arrived there, you don't have to have beautiful marble the masjid for it to affect you. Do you understand? So we slept on the chatai, outside the room this time. And on that side, there was primus, gas to make tea, small, what do you call it?
Hob, cooker.
A small cooker linked with a gas to make tea. And a small tap and in that room, and a small tap and a patla. a bench to sit on, a small bench, to sit on it to do wudu. And then it has chatai, meaning mat made of straw. And then Shah Wasilullah, Moulana Abdul Zaman told us that when Shah Wasilullah son, Moulana Muhammad Ahmad Kitaab, who was a big sheikh of Silsila Naqshbandiya, the second sheikh of Moulana Abdul Zaman, and Moulana Abul Hassan Nadwi, and Moulana Abrar al-Haq Khalifa was a Thanwi. These four mashayikh, when they will come, one of them will sleep in that room because there was only one space there to sleep, on the mat, on the floor, with the chadar and the takya. And the other three will sleep outside, on the mat. So this is what we did. You understand? And then when they woke up, one of them will make tea for the 4 or 5 or how many khuddam were there. कितने बेहतरीन जिंदगी, कितनी सादा जिंदगी. What a life, what a beautiful life, what a simple life. Do you understand? And then Moulana Muhammad Ahmad Kitaab second sheikh of Hadhrat Moulana. So he told me that once we were traveling in the car, because those mashayikhs are from that area, the eastern part of Sweden. So we were traveling, so there was a driver. Then Moulana Muhammad Ahmad Kitaab was at the front. Then Moulana Abrar al-Haq and the Khalifa of the Thanwi was behind him. Then Moulana Abul Hassan Nadwi was there, and I was there. So Moulana Abul Hassan Nadwi, so Moulana Abul Hassan Nadwi asked Moulana Muhammad Ahmad Kitaab that Hazrat, कितने बड़े बड़े मशाइख थे आपके ज़माने में, और आप जो है मौलाना बदर अली के मुरीद बने. There was Hazrat Madani, Hazrat Thanwi, and all the मशाइख. तो आप जो है मौलाना बदर अली के खलीफा बने. मौलाना बदर अली is not that renowned, and he was the khalifa of Moulana Fazlehaq Ganj Muradabadi. So आप मौलाना बदर अली के मुरीद बने. तो यूँ कहा कि मौलाना मुनासबत की बात है, इस the link, मुनासबत की बात. Then he said कि मुनासबत की बात है. दूसरी बात, मौलाना बदर अली बहुत कामिल थे, लेकिन अपने आप को छुपाए थे. Like I mentioned before, that there are two types of mashayikh: ma'murun bil idhar, those who have been given by Allah that they should say whatever come to their mind, say it. So idhar. And ma'murun bil ikhfa, those who are told keep everything inside. So Moulana Badr Ali rahmatullah alayhi, Khalifa of Moulana Fazlul Rahman Ganj Muradabadi. कितने बजे तक है? कितने बजे मतलब? अभी तो टाइम है. बुजुर्गों की बातें निकल पड़ती है, सब चलते ही रहते हैं, 10 घंटे. समझिए, और ये आए हुए हैं तो कुछ सुन भी लगे. So Moulana Badr Ali was the Khalifa of Moulana Fazlul Rahman Ganj Muradabadi, and with Moulana Fazlul Rahman Ganj Muradabadi, it was not easy to become his Khalifa because he was a Jalali Shaykh, not a Jamali Shaykh. Let it go, Jalali Shaykh. So Moulana Badr Ali became Ali, and then he went to Azhar. And he got a degree there. That was the old time when Azhar was Azhar. And he returned. he was Hafiz of Bukhari Sharif. So to become Hafiz of Bukhari Sharif, not many people would be Hafiz of the whole Bukhari Sharif. We said to mere Shaykh, he said, mere Shaykh, Moulana Badr Ali, Hafiz, Bukhari Sharif ke Hafiz the. So Moulana Fazlehaq Muradabadi, the name came, this is why I'm mentioning it. Moulana Fazlehaq Muradabadi was the big Shaykh of the Silsila Naqshbandiyya. And Shah Muhammad Afaq, that's Silsila, Shah Muhammad Afaq Abdul Mujaddid al-Fithani. So, somebody asked Hafiz Sahib, कि Hazrat को आपने कैसे पाया? How did you find Hazrat Moulana Fazlehaq bin Muradabadi? I went to his madar in Allahabad. I went to the madar of Moulana Wahibullah Allahabadi from the Chishtiya Silsila. आपने हज़रत को कैसे पाया? How did you find the Hafiz? So the Hafiz Sahib told him कि हज़रत तो हज़रत थे, Moulana Fazlehaq bin Muradabadi हज़रत तो हज़रत थे. Okay, so why? He said, when I was 3 to 4 years old, my father passed away. And we had only sisters and my mother. So I was becoming a Hafiz and aiming to become alim for 5 years. But 6-7 years, when I became 6-7 years, they put me in the in farming. So I was starting to work in farming to help the house. The sisters were knitting and selling clothes, and I started from the age of 7 to work in the farm. And working in farm is very tough. Anybody has seen a farmer, or most of us, all of us, our father or grandfather are farmers. So working in farm is very, very tough. So until the age of 20, 18, 19, I was working. But because from a young age I started to work in the farms, and in farm with this heat, so all my hand had white spots, like leprosy. And leprosy, remember, is contagious. But that was not leprosy. That was because of the hard work in the farm. Then I became married for 5 years. I was married, but no children. So working in the farm 4 or 5 years, married, no children. Life was so difficult, and I was not earning enough to be able to sustain anybody. We were living with a lot of difficulties. So I heard about Sheikh Fazlehaq Muradabadi, Moulana Fazlehaq Muradabadi, living in Ganj Muradabad, which was very far. So I then told my wife, my mother, and my sisters, I am going to Sheikh to ask him to make dua. Because I had no money, I walked the whole way. 3 days, it took me 3 days and 3 nights to arrive at the time of Asr in the masjid. When I arrived in the masjid, I saw an old man in the heat. He had only his kurta was taken off, he had only his vest and lungi. And he was sat outside, like the masajid in India and Pakistan and the Arab world. They have places for people to sit. So he was sat there. So I thought this person must be the muezzin or the khadim of the masjid. So when I arrived there with my lathi, with my asa, my stick, I saw him and said Assalamu alaikum and started to enter the masjid. So that was Mulana Fazlur Rahman, then the Muadabari, he thought this is the masjid. So Mulana Fazlur Rahman told him, Arey Allah ke bande, masjid mein lathi, gandi lathi ke saath dakhil hota hai. How do you enter masjid with a dirty asa, a dirty stick? So he told me, turn it around and then go into the masjid. So I turned it around, put it on the side, and then I entered with the left foot. So he said again, अरे मुसलमान होते तो दाने हाथ से मस्जिद में दाखिल. If you would have been a Muslim, you would know that entering in the masjid, you should enter with your right foot. So that is the second and very harsh word, if you would have a Muslim. Then the habit, what do you call it? जो आजकल ट्रेंड होता है, क्या कहते हैं, जो ट्रेंड निकलता है कि एवरीबॉडी, सो उस जमाने में ट्रेंड था कि वेरी टाइट स्लीव्स एंड वेरी टाइट ट्राउजर्स. क्या कहते हैं उसे, ट्रेंड जो पीपल नई fashion that the new fashion for men is to cut it at the back completely like that and here at the front. I won't say anything, but those who know, I've come from Madagascar. And in Madagascar, there are many monkeys. So I won't say how it looks like, but I've seen those monkeys. So the trend was very tight sleeves. So when I started wudu, it was with difficulty. So then again, the muezzin came. I was thinking the muezzin, अगर मुसलमान होते तो जरा खुले पहनते ताकि वजू आसानी से हो. ये क्या है जो है फैशन के मुताबिक. So I understood this is it. Then I went to the masjid. The Asr time had come. We prayed Asr, and then the chanting started. पूछो कहाँ से आए? So he told, where have you come from? He told, I've come from very far, walking. पूछो रात रहोगे? Would you stay the night? I said, yes. ठीक. खादिम को कहा मगरिब के बाद इनको जगह बता दो कहाँ सोना. So and उनके लिए खाना है. So the khadim showed him the place, a room next to the masjid. You stay here. And then after Maghrib, khadim went to Hazrat's house, brought roti and dal, and then gave it to the. While he was eating, Hazrat came and asked, "ठीक है, खाना ठीक है, क्या खाना है? What is the food?" So he said, "Dal and roti." MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Dal and roti. Sahaba Ikram ko ye bhi nahi milta tha. Meaning the whole life is centered on the life of the Holy Prophet. Sahaba Ikram ko ye bhi nahi milta tha. After Isha, then he went to his room. After Isha, Hazrat prayed Isha. After Isha, Hazrat said, पूछो खादिम से, पूछो किस काम के लिए आए. So ask him, why did you come? So he said, that bad होने के लिए कुछ परेशानियां हैं. I've come to become bad to take an oath of allegiance with Hadhrat, and I've got some difficulty. So Hazrat said, अभी सो जाओ, तहज्जुद के लिए उठना, फजर जो है इतने बजे है, फजर में के बाद बैठ कर. So So he went. Hazrat came from his house in Fajr. So these people were there. After Fajr, जी आइए पहले बतलाएं क्या परेशानी, what difficulties have you got? So once he said, he had explained that I started farming from a very young age, and look at my hand, it had become white because of the spots of working very hard. So that looked at his hand and pulled him. He rubbed his hand like that on the hand of the person. And then he was saying, "Kahan se faydi hai? Mujhe to kuch nazar nahi aata. What whiteness? I cannot see anything." And he rubbed his hand like that. And then the person says, "I saw my hand completely change within that rubbing." That was Hazrat Moulana. Mashaykh used to, our sanad of Moulana Ahmad Ali Lajpuri, who was a friend of my father, he learned Bukhari Sharif from Moulana Abdul Rahman Bawan, who was the Shagid of Moulana Fazlehaq straight to Shah Abdul Aziz, leaving Shah Muhammad Ishaq, Shah Abdul Aziz in between. So that's one difficulty gone. Then he said, "क्या तकलीफ है?" तो 6-7 साल से शादी हुई, कोई औलाद नहीं। खादिम से कहा, "वो हमारा मटका है, मटका jar for water, bring that मटका." So he bought the मटका, उसको उल्टा करना, put it down. So उसमें कुछ बेर और कुछ बताशे थे, and Hazrat गरीब. So Hazrat ने कहा, जो कुछ लेना हो ले. So he said, "I wouldn't take touch Hazrat watch." So bear, I took bear, dried fruit, and batashe, dried sweet meat, some kind of a sweet. So Hazrat said, "Lero, cow." So he said, "I took 5 bear and 6 batashe." So Hazrat said, "Or cow, or little, more, take more." So he said, "No, Hazrat, coffee, this is enough. It's good," he said, So he took 5 bear and 6 batashe. Khada. So bear खा लिए, batashe खा लिए. इंशाअल्लाह जितने बेर खाए हैं इतने लड़के होंगे, और जितने बताशे खाए इतनी लड़कियां होंगी. Meaning 11. If he would have taken 20, then he would have 20 children. अच्छा, फिर और क्या तकलीफ? हज़रत बहुत तकलीफ है माशी, meaning financial. I have a lot of difficulty. जा मैंने अल्लाह से दुआ मांगी, आज से तुम्हें जो है कोई तकलीफ फाइनेंशियल नहीं होगी. I made dua to Allah, from now on your financial situation will completely change. अब आ जाओ, फिर जाना ठीक. Went to the दरवाजा and he went to Medina. कितने घंटे रहे? How many hours did he stay? He stayed from Asr till Fajr. And completely life changed. When he arrived home, within a few months his wife became pregnant. 11 children after that, 5 boys and 6 girls. All his whatever, while he was going around, and in India people are very superstitious. So wherever he was going, his hand was completely well. And financial situation changed in such a way that he became rich. इसलिए फिर वो हज़रत के पास हज़रत पर फिदा थे. This is what our mashayikh were. And this is why we do the work of Allah. Yeah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سلام على عباده الذين اصطفى، سلام على المرسلين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد وانزل المقام المقرب عندك. اللهم رب هذه الدعوه القامه والصلاه النافعه صل على محمد وارض عني رضا لا يسخط بعده ابدا. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد وارحم محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت وباركت ورحمت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ال ابراهيم في العالمين انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وازواجه وذريته كما صليت على ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وازواجه وذريته كما باركت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ازواجه وذريته كما صليت على ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ازواجه وذريته كما باركت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد النبي وازواجه امهات المؤمنين وذريته واهل بيته كما صليت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وترحم على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما رحمت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم ترحم على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما ترحمت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم تحنن على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما تحننت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم سلم على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما سلمت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد وبارك وسلم على محمد وعلى ال محمد وارحم محمد وعلى محمد كما صليت وباركت وترحمت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم في العالمين انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك كما صليت على ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الامي وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وبارك على محمد النبي الامي كما باركت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الامي وعلى ال محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد سنة تكون لك رضا وله جزاء ولحقه اداء واعطه الوسيله والفضيله والمقام المحمود الذي وعده وجزيه عنا ما هو اهله وجزيه افضل ما جازيت نبيا عن قومه ورسولا عن امته. وصل على جميع اخوانه من النبيين والصالحين يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الامي وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم وبارك على محمد النبي الامي وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى اهل بيته كما صليت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم صل علينا معهم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى اهل بيته كما باركت على ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك علينا معهم صلوات الله وصلوات المؤمنين على محمد النبي الامي. اللهم اجعل صلواتك ورحمتك وبركاتك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما جعلتها على ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. وصلى الله على النبي الامي. التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات. السلام عليك ايها النبي ورحمه الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. التحيات الطيبات الصلوات لله. السلام عليك ايها النبي ورحمه الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. التحيات لله الطيبات الصلوات لله. السلام عليك ايها النبي ورحمه الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. اشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله. التحيات المباركات الصلوات الطيبات لله. السلام عليك ايها النبي ورحمه الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. بسم الله وبالله. التحيات لله والصلوات والطيبات. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أسأل الله الجنة وأعوذ بالله من النار. نسأل الله الجنة ونعوذ بالله من النار. التحيات لله الزاكيات لله. الطيبات والصلوات لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. بسم الله وبالله خير الأسماء. التحيات الطيبات الصلوات لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وأن الساعة آتية لا ريب فيها. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. اللهم اغفر لي واهدني. اللهم اغفر لنا واهدنا. التحيات الطيبات والصلوات الملك لله. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله. التحيات لله الصلوات لله زاكية لله. السلام على النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. شهدت أن لا إله إلا الله. شهدت أن محمدا رسول الله. التحيات الطيبات الصلوات الزاكيات لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين التحيات الطيبات الصلاة الزاكية لله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين التحيات الصلوات لله السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين التحيات لله الصلوات الطيبات السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله التحيات المباركات الصلوات الطيبات لله السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله بسم الله والسلام على رسول الله
ذكر الجهل Shazaliya also very similar dhikr. Sanwasiya also from India, very similar dhikr. So 200 times La ilaha illallah making the niyyah. You look towards your heart and you make the niyyah that I am taking out all the out all the muhabbat of dunya from my heart and putting the love of Allah in my heart. Dunya, everything which the person might be affected. Somebody loves good cars, somebody loves beautiful building. Some people might love other things which you would understand. So taking it out of my heart and putting the love of Allah. Everybody who does it every day, then ana inda dhanni abdi bi. My slave, whatever he thinks of me, that happens. In khayran fa khayran, wa in sharran fa sharran. In khayrun fa khayrun, wa in sharrun fa sharrun. If it is khayr, then this is what happens. If it is shar, then this is what happens. So if a person makes the niyyah to remove everything from his heart, slowly, that love of things, diminishing, and the love of Allah comes. So the 200 times, La ilaha illallah. So first read 11 times Durood Sharif and 13 times Ikhlas, and do Salah Salawat on